Well, Ironheads, gather round, because today we've got ourselves a shiny little troublemaker. A Wakizashi with just enough swagger to say, I may be short, but I'll still ruin your day. Well, Ironheads, lean in close because today we're not looking at just any blade. We're looking at a Wakizashi that practically screams, I may be half the size of a katana, but I'll still cut your samurai lunch money in half. This bad boy clocks in at 17.5 inches from tip to habaki. That puts it smack in Wakizashi territory. Too big to be a tanto, too short to be a katana, but absolutely perfect for slashing in tight spaces. Imagine you're a samurai in Edo period Japan, and you've got to defend your honor indoors. You don't want to pull out your massive katana and accidentally remodel the ceiling beams. Nope. You grab this compact steel argument settler and go to work. Now, about the blade itself. It's signed Mino Kuni Jū Kanesada, Mino Kuni Jū Kanesada. Translation: Kanesada, resident of Mino Province. Simple, straightforward, and classy, like signing your homework in big bold letters. The Kanesada name is one of the most prolific in sword history. It's basically the Toyota Corolla of swordsmiths, reliable, widely produced, and still running after hundreds of years. This line of smiths cranked out swords from the late 1500s straight through the Edo period, which means yours most likely falls into the 1600s to 1700s range. So congratulations. You own a 300-plus-year-old piece of sharpened history. And yes, it's out of polish. That doesn't mean it's worthless. It just means this blade has been living its best life and isn't all dressed up for the party right now. The hamon is still visible, the geometry is sound, and the kissaki, tip, is in great shape. It's a survivor, and honestly, that's what makes it interesting. Now let's talk about what this sword is wearing, because if the blade is the body, the fittings are definitely the outfit. Tsuka, handle. Wrapped in deep blue Edo over white ray skin, Samgawa. It looks sharp, feels good, and provides grip when things get stabby. And yes, it's the kind of blue that will show every bit of grime and sweat you put into it. A sword that tattles on you after a fight. Classy. Minuki, ornaments under the wrap. These aren't your boring filler decorations. Oh no, one side has a copper tiger with gilt highlights, crouched and ready to remind you who's boss. The other side? Leaves or reeds, which makes perfect sense because the tiger is often depicted lurking among bamboo or foliage in Japanese art. Translation: be strong like the tiger, but also bend like the bamboo. Practical advice, and a lot cooler than a motivational poster. Fushi and kashira, collar and pommel. Iron, simple, understated. These fittings aren't trying to steal the spotlight. They're there to do the job and keep the tsuka tight. On the wooden tsuka core beneath the fushi, there are ink-inscribed characters written in katakana. These read Kanesada, Kanesada, which directly corresponds to the signature, Mei, on the tang. Such notations were commonly applied by craftsmen, polishers, or mount makers during the Edo period, and later, serving as practical identifiers to ensure the correct matching of blade and mountings during disassembly and reassembly. The presence of this writing confirms the historical reading of the Tang inscription as Kanesada and further supports the integrity of the sword's mounts as originally paired with this blade. These markings are not frequently encountered today. Over time, many tsuka were replaced, rewrapped, or worn smooth, and most surviving examples no longer retain such inscriptions. The fact that this writing remains clear and legible makes the tsuka more unusual and noteworthy, adding an extra layer of authenticity and historical continuity to the piece. Tsuba, guard. Round, iron, with a radiating sunburst pattern, not covered in dragons, clouds, or tiny samurai dramas carved into it. Nope, this is a working-class tsuba. It says, I'm not here to be pretty, I'm here to keep your hand attached. Functional, strong, with just enough flair to avoid being called boring. Saya, scabbard. Black lacquer, with a dark blue Sagio cord tied up like it's ready for business. It's got a few scuffs, but hey, if your sword doesn't have some character marks after 300 years, did it even live? Now here's where this sword really flexes. The habaki, blade collar, isn't just a plain copper one like you'd see on the average farmer's blade. Nope. This one is copper core wrapped in silver foil. You heard me. Silver. The file marks, yasurime, cut into the surface make it look like silver fireworks exploding out of the blade. Why does that matter? Because a silver-wrapped habaki cost extra. It's basically the Edo period equivalent of leather seats and chrome trim on your truck. Someone paid for this sword to not only function, but also look good doing it. It's subtle bling, not gold and gaudy, but refined. This tells us the owner wasn't just scraping by. They wanted a sidearm that had a little class. And just in case you were wondering if this is legit, yes, it even comes with a Japanese registration paper, Torokusho. After WW2, Japan required all traditionally made swords to be documented. So that piece of paper is basically the sword's birth certificate, or more accurately, its proof of survival. While other blades got melted down or hidden away, this one got stamped, cataloged, and eventually made its way into your hands. That's a pedigree. What does it all mean? Put it all together and what do you have? A Wakizashi signed Kanesada from Mino Province, Edo period, 16th to 17th centuries. Blade length, 17.5 inches. Compact, lethal, historically the samurai's sidearm of choice. Mountings that are complete and consistent. Tiger Manuki, blue ito, plain but functional fittings, a black lacquer saya, and a silver habaki that says, "I have taste, thank you very much." A sword that was not just for show. It was built to be used, carried, and relied upon. So Ironheads, what we're looking at here is the Edo-era equivalent of a gentleman's concealed carry. It's classy enough to impress at the tea house, rugged enough to cut down a bandit, practical enough to wear every day. It's not the giant katana showpiece, but the reliable partner always at your side. In short, this Wakizashi is a 300-year-old blend of deadly practicality and understated swagger. And that, my friends, makes it one hell of a piece.